Okay, so please have open your Lord of the Flies writing guide for the lit analysis. I'm currently on slide 1. Please follow along. As always, don't write down directly what's on the slide. Write down the additional stuff that I say that helps your understanding. Okay, let's go to slide 2. Slide 2 has a lit analysis prompt. You can go ahead and click on that. It's clickable. If you want to take a look at the prompt at a later date, 1, 2, 3, 4 here has the essentials. I need an intro paragraph. Your intro paragraph will contain a hook, historical context, and main thesis. 2 body paragraphs with 3 CDs each, and 2 literary devices addressed in body paragraphs. You have a lot of freedom with how you want to do that. And then a conclusion paragraph. So in your conclusion paragraph, you'll tie back to your main thesis and call to an understanding or an action from your reader. Today we're really going to focus on just the main thesis in your intro, and then support theses that guide your 2 body paragraphs and CD selection. Okay, let's go to slide 3. Slide 3 just has the overview with examples for your intro paragraph, so we'll come back to that for hook and historical context. For today, I want you to pay attention to the main thesis. Here is your template. Your main thesis needs to cover the entire prompt. So, in title of the book, Lord of the Flies, author name, William Golding, please use his full name in your main thesis, uses, and then here's where I want the 2 lit devices, to argue, suggest, reveal, you pick the verb that best fits yours, and then theme statement. A reminder, the theme statement has at least 2 themes in it because you're going to discuss the relationship between themes. So for example, uses characterization to argue that savagery is more powerful than hope. There's the relationship between savagery and hope. Be sure you keep your main thesis a universal statement and not book specific. All right, let's go to slide 4. Here's your lit analysis format. So for your body paragraphs, here's your essential parts. You need a support thesis. What is the author's message? 1 sentence, please. For each concrete detail, transition phrase, lead in, CD. Today, I want you to focus just on picking the best possible CDs that support your support thesis. Then later, we're going to write commentary 1, commentary 2, and 3. If you notice, commentary 1 is the how, commentary 2 and 3 is the why. Darn, that's familiar from our lit charts. That's why I've had you write those lit charts all along. Can you use those for your lit analysis? Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's go to slide 5. Here's just another way of looking at the parts of your body paragraph in the forms of questions. So, for example, support thesis, still the first sentence of your body paragraph, but as you're writing your support thesis, think to yourself, what is the topic, idea, or message being developed in this particular paragraph? Same thing for transition, and again, we'll get to commentary when I get back. Today you're going to focus on CD selection, so this part right here. Where it says direct quote or paraphrase, I want you to do your best to give me direct quotes. I do recognize that sometimes the CDs are not in that exact same moment, so maybe Ralph does something at the beginning of the chapter and then changes his mind at the end of the chapter, and you want to point out that difference as your concrete detail. In that case, you can paraphrase, but do your best to limit how often you do that. On slide 6, there's templates for your support thesis. On slide 7, there's templates for lead-ins and transitions. On slide 8, and let's focus here, there's templates again for your support thesis. I'd strongly suggest using this support thesis for this particular lit analysis. So let's go through crafting this together. So when you're doing this, write your main thesis first so you have a general overview of what themes you want to concentrate on. Then as you write your support thesis, if you're confident in your support thesis and you've got an idea of your argumentation, write it first. If you're not sure what argumentation you want to do, but you have an idea of maybe the CDs that you're interested, in, that's fine. So I'm going to give an example of, well, what if I don't know what my support thesis is, but I do know what my evidence is? So say I've gathered my evidence, but I'm struggling with my support thesis. Let's look at my evidence. It's my favorite one that I love to model things. So they looked at each other, baffled in love and hate, they being Ralph and Jack. All the warm salt water and the splashing and laughing were only just sufficient to bring them together again. So this is when they have their first initial fight about whether to hunt or build huts. Okay, so I need to write a support thesis based on this piece of evidence. So let's think about what we just did with our close analysis. Go back to the CD. What themes are in the CD? Well, for this one, I'm definitely seeing love and hate. I know they're struggling about power. What is he?
What are you touching?
Oh, I'm giving verbal instruction to my students because I'm not going to be there tomorrow.
But they can't hear you.
Well, they'll hear me when they play the video. Okay, I got to finish doing
video.
instruction. Yeah, I'm doing a video. So shh. Okay. Oops, sorry. Hi guys, back. Okay. So Ralph and Jack, they're in love and hate. They're struggling over power, but then they are able to come back together again. And it was the splashing and laughing, something that was reminiscent of their old life. So I've got love and hate, which that might be linked to savagery in some way. I've got splashing and laughing, reminiscence of innocence, maybe civilization for how they were before they got on the island. And then how that innocence or civilization was just sufficient to squash the power struggle. Okay, so power, innocence, civilization. Okay, now I gotta figure out, well, what's the relationship between all of that? Oh, and maybe a hint of savagery with this hate part. Okay, so I might look at my second CD that I gathered, see what relationships I can figure out there. And then let's go to slide 9. Here's how I would make it fit in my template. Say my main thesis focuses mainly on power and savagery, maybe leadership. So I want my support thesis to speak to that. Izzy, Mojo has your hand thing. Can you get that from him?
Mojo.
Okay, sorry guys, back. Okay, so let's make it my ideas about power and savagery fit into my support thesis template. So through the use of, well, through the use of what lit device? Well, it's Jack and Ralph, so it has to be characterization. So through the use of characterization, Golding argues, okay, only use Golding, not William Golding, just Golding in your support thesis. Once you've said his full name, you can refer to him by his last name in subsequent sentences. I'm going to go with the verb argues that, and here's where my ideas for my CD become important. Power, oh, right, I got power, right, because it was just barely sufficient to bring them together again. They were arguing about who should be in charge. Argues that power corrupts the individual's morality. Oh, because how do I know it's morality? Oh, because they were baffled, meaning confused, in love and hate. They should have just automatically been kind to each other, but because of that power struggle, they got confused between loving each other and hating each other. Oh, thus the moral corruption. So, here's my support thesis based on my evidence. Through the use of characterization, Golding argues that power corrupts the individual's morality. We know later that Jack becomes this awful, power-hungry, savage individual. Then my transition and lead-in are here for you in pink. For today, I want you to just concentrate on main thesis, support thesis, and CD selection. So let's pause the video and go to your outline assignment. At this point, you should have this prompt up. The beginning is the overview, is a repeat of what you saw on the video already. This lovely chart right here is just a list of some of the ideas that we've gone over in class. It's not a complete list, so don't feel tied to symbols, characters, and illusions for lit devices, and don't feel tied to just this list of themes. There are more out there, that's fine. To make it easy for you, the lecture that we just looked at is linked right here. And then at the bottom is your outline. Please only complete the parts that are here. So where it says main thesis, write your main thesis. Where it says support thesis for body paragraph 1, write your support thesis for body paragraph 1, and so on. Notice I'm only asking for concrete details. Pay specific attention to your concrete detail selection. I don't want the same thing over and over again. Look for some sort of progression. So if you're doing characterization, you might go for a chronological progression. Jack at the beginning is civilized. Second CD might be Jack turning to savagery but still being held back by his morals. And then the third CD might be Jack full-blown savage. That would be a great chronological argumentation to prove that savagery is more powerful than civilization because it overtakes Jack by the end. Okay, you have the 25 minutes to work on this outline. At the end of those 25 minutes, I'll need you to make a choice. You can go back. Oh, sorry. You can go on. Oh, wow, I'm struggling. At the end of those 25 minutes, our sub will stop you and say it's time to read chapter 11. You can do that. No, remember, no EQ, just pull CDs. Or if you feel like, no, I'd rather read at home, I'm on a roll, you can keep working on your lit analysis outline. That's fine. What's due tomorrow is a main thesis, 2 support theses, and 4 CDs. Once you're done with the outline, the expectation is that you move straight to reading if you haven't done so at the end of that 25 minutes. Okay, you guys are awesome as usual. I look forward to reading your outlines, and we'll start going over main theses and support theses. If you looked at the calendar on Wednesday, no tutorial is due. We'll talk about that more tomorrow because Ms. Cudmore is coming in and you guys can start doing your course requests for junior year. Exciting stuff. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.